in particular to the trans movement. There wasn't an existing extant opposition to the trans movement. There simply wasn't. There were here and there was a smattering of like, oh, I think that people are, there's bigotry and it probably exists and whatnot, but there wasn't like anti-trans legislation. There wasn't like a massive anti-trans movement because there wasn't a massive trans movement.
Yeah.
So these things like are co-created, but in this case, it's very clear to me that the sort of gay rights movement had more or less achieved a kind of equilibrium. Not fully, like some states were still treating homosexuality as literally punishable by death. I think in Mississippi, and sodomy is still like totally illegal and all these sorts of things. But so there's still work to be done. But it had reached a certain threshold beyond which, like, really being enraged and being like, fight the power, that energy had dissipated to an extent. So it was like, okay, well, what's next? Well, this is next.
Yeah.
And the way that the this is next was handled in terms of the pronoun thing, like forcing other people to speak a new language, and being really incensed when you were being misgendered, was a perfect way to incite a new cycle of struggle cluster and belonging and all these things. And I say that as a total supporter of the trans movement. Like, actually, I think trans is probably the most important and philosophically relevant social movement that I'll see in my lifetime.
Yeah.
I think it's very close to my philosophical outlook, etc., etc., etc. But it's also an example of the instigation of a struggle cluster, and you see again, coming back to the mind of the conservative, the feeling of not having safety barriers, not knowing what's happening, feeling like you're in the middle of this missing axioms moment, if I understand it correctly, where suddenly it's like, wait a minute, like, it's a social construct, like, what do you, like, everything is like, and so of course you're going to get this visceral reaction from the conservative mind where it's like, now all of a sudden they're rolling back all the legislation and improvements that had occurred for gay rights, for homosexual rights. And now suddenly, I was just reading a study, like the general sentiment in the US is now reverted itself to like a more anti-gay stance,
right,
in the wake of this fear of ontological dissipation. And it's like, I thought we had these categories set, and suddenly they're not set. And so you experience that fear. So ironically, again, it comes back to like, if we really want to move things forward in a progressive way, we kind of have to act like parents. Like, you want your kid to explore the outer realms, so put a little boundary around the outer realms. Like, you have to do this incrementally